So back to my editor. I am gonna remove this because now we're gonna flesh out the teachers. They are no longer simple strings. A teacher is now a complex object. This is the first element in the array. I'm gonna do a lot of line breaks so it's easier to read. We're gonna have a name. That's Alan. What else do we want to store? This is getting old with all these users. Anything new? Last, I don't think so yet. I think that would be too complicated. But spent vacation at. So where did you spend your vacation? That's an array. Ooh, rich bastard. Started in Greece. Then we're going to have me, new object. We're going to follow the same structure. I almost don't want to write this. No, I went to Bornholm at least. Kind of not so fancy, but environmentally more friendly. Okay. Yeah, that was bad. Okay, let's take one more, because we had Gulen as well. Spent vacation at, and I have no clue. Has anyone talked to Gulen about that? Why would you? Korea? Bolivia? Or at home? It's not important right now. It's just text. Okay, now we have our teachers. So I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to delete this one. Because it makes no sense that our function is called give a raise now, right? That's not really what we're talking about here. Okay, so what do we want to do? I'm going to do a lot of line breaks so we can get it up. I want to call a function for every single teacher. I know that much. And we are only going to output that the teacher X spent his vacation at Y. Okay? So what could we call such a function? Who went where? Is that easy to read? Okay, we're going to link it up. Who went where? Just as before with the ninjas, this function will receive the teachers one at a time. It will receive one object, then the next one, and then the next one. So what are we going to call this one? I'm going to go overboard and call it a single teacher, because I get them one at a time. I could have called it X. JavaScript does not care, but we as human beings kind of care. So we want to try to make this readable. It's hard enough already, right? Let's make it readable. So I only have one typo. Feature, 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 feature. Oh, does it matter? That depends. I made a spelling error, right? I'm using an H in here. If I constantly refer to it as with a spelling error, it's not going to be a problem. Because I defined it as such. But I should probably. Oh, now I have to think. There we go. So a single teacher is now an object. If I go and save and refresh, this is what I get on line 29. It outputs the object one at a time. I want to grab the values. So I have two properties, name and spent vacation at. So I can say single teacher dot. Look at how friendly it is right now. It's not always like that. Name. So we go back and we refresh. Alan Jonas Gulen. And then we can glue the rest together. Spent his vacation at in. That's tricky. a single teacher dot spend vacation at. Now it's getting hard to read. Okay, I have 99 problems. I have at least 3 problems. One of them was on purpose. The rest we'll take a look at. So what's the first problem? Spaces, right? That was the one that was on purpose. So I need spaces on the inside of the string. Save, back, refresh. You have found another problem?
Yeah, I found another problem.
That would be hers. We also, and we don't have to go there. You see the problem? Alan spent his vacation. Awesome. Jonas spent his vacation. Awesome. Gunnar spent his, not that good. Her vacation, right? So we need some way of detecting the gender and then doing something. That's for later. Or if you have a suggestion, how do we figure out, how do we solve this problem? I wanted to say her vacation. We need to know the gender. Okay. And then somebody said if else. So gender. How do we want to store the gender? Now I called it gender. Maybe I shouldn't have. I could also have called it male. And then storing yes and no. Assuming there are only 2 genders. I would probably go with gender. What do we store about gender? Is it a number? You could go with a number, 1 and 0. And then we could add 2, 3, 4, whatever if we need them. But is that readable? Wouldn't something like male be way more readable? I'm going to copy that one. Okay. Does that solve our problem? No, we're not using it for anything, right? So I'm just going to do a few line breaks here. Just so it's a little clearer to see. Just a little. I don't know how to make this clear. Okay. The problem is this word. We want this to say his or her depending on the gender. And somebody said if. Who said if? Yeah, could you elaborate on that? If what, then what? Okay, I'm going to create a helper variable. So we're going to say let, is that a pronoun? Any grammar geeks in here? What is that? It is a pronoun? Awesome. It was like 20% chance if I got that right. Pronoun is a string. Now the variable is defined. Then you said if we need the gender left from the object, so if a single teacher dot gender, then you said is, in JavaScript is looks like this. You might have seen it with 2 equal signs. Yeah? If it is male, then something. So we're going to say pronoun is, okay, if it's a male, we're going to say his, right? The pronoun is his. Okay? In our little application, we only have 2 genders, right? Male and female, so I can say else. If it's not a male, then it must be a female. Is that okay? Is that acceptable? Pronoun is equal to her. Okay. Now we should use it for something. I want it in here. If I do like this, we can all see the error, right? It's orange. Orange is bad right now because it's not a variable, which means we need to do this strange string concatenation again. Okay, let's go back and refresh. So now it toggles between his and her depending on the gender. Technically, code-wise, it doesn't care. It looks for the value male, and it doesn't care about any other value, right? Because the other one just says else. If it's not male, do something else. So if we change Gulen to be a Martian, don't tell her, and I refresh, it still says her. We're only looking for the value male. If you're not a male, you must be female, right? Totally correct. All Martians, women are from Mars. Are women from Mars or Venus? I can never remember. Okay.